My toddler, I will heal your frame tonight. But you need to say these 5 phrases, sure. You want to say those 5 phrases that I'm able to reveal to you presently. Concentrate closely. Quiet your heart. Open your spirit. I do no longer communicate gently. I do no longer ask without motive. Those 5 phrases are not normal. They're divine keys, forged within the fires of eternity, and sealed via my spirit. They may be no longer phrases for the lips on my own but for the soul. While you say them no longer with doubt but with religion. Let them upward push from the deepest vicinity inside you, in which your truest self meets my everlasting presence. Here they may be. I believe you, my God. These words pass heaven. These phrases shake the world of darkness. These phrases, spoken in reality, unlock recuperation, healing and divine alignment. I do no longer require them for my sake, no toddler. I'm no longer like guy who needs words to recognize the heart. I see your coronary heart already. However you should say them in your sake, for your body, your mind, and your soul. These 5 phrases are your announcement. They are your surrender. They may be your bridge from worry to religion, from contamination to restoration, from brokenness to wholeness. Say them now. Say them slowly. Permit every syllable echo through your bones. I trust you, my God. Do you experience the weight lifting? Do you experience the warm temperature stirring on your chest? That is me. I'm not far. I'm close to nearer than breath, closer than your subsequent notion. I'm inside the quiet location, within the stillness of this very moment. You have requested me for healing, and I've heard you. I do no longer postpone. I do now not hesitate. My love isn't measured in minutes or hours, it smiles eternal, and it actions for you presently. My infant, I see the pain you bring. I see what the medical doctors cannot give an explanation for. I see what you attempt to hide from others. I see the questions for your thoughts that you dare not even speak aloud. I recognize the nights where sleep is a ways and the tears come smooth. I recognize the burden of tension that presses in your chest. I recognize the aching on your bones, the trembling in your muscular tissues, the silent struggling that you watch nobody sees. But I see. I have continually visible. Before you felt the first sting of ache, I knew it. Before the infection entered your body, I foresaw it. And that I made provision to your recovery earlier than the illness ever touched you. This night I'm able to touch your body, not with human hands, not with earthly remedies, however with the very breath of heaven. I will pour into you energy that you have not acknowledged. I'm able to align every cellular in your body with my design. I'm able to forge out the overseas factor that has attempted to take root in you. I'm able to silence the voice of fear and restore the rhythm of existence within you. I can speak on your blood, your bones, your organs, your nerves, your mind, yes. even your thoughts, and they'll reply to me. They know my voice. Introduction is aware of the sound of its creator. You aren't by myself on this restoration, I am already working. However, you must permit me in. You must believe that I'm no longer best capable, however willing. Sure, willing. You need to shake off the lies that advised you I am remote, or that your struggling is punishment. You must release the mind that have tried to persuade you that is your burden to hold for all time. You are not forgotten. You aren't disqualified. You are not too far long gone. I'm nonetheless the God who heals. I am still the only who touches lepers and speaks lifestyles into the useless. I am still the only who walked some of the sick, who laid palms at the blind, who raised the paralyzed, who cleansed the stricken. And I've no longer modified. I'm the identical the day past, nowadays, and all the time. I see how long you have waited. I see the prayers that felt like they fell into silence. I see the desire that sparkled low. But I used to be never absent. I've been with you in every moment, amassing your tears, surrounding your mattress, whispering comfort when no person else knew what to say. This night I come no longer simply to consolation but to restore. I come no longer just to console, however to transform. Everything isn't a thriller to me. It is my nature. It flows from me like light from the solar. It isn't something I do. It's far who I'm. My toddler, elevate your palms if you can, or lift your heart if your frame feels too worn out. I see even the smallest movement of religion. I honor even the quietest, yes. You don't want an excellent prayer. You do not need a crowd. You do not need music or lighting. All you need is me, and I'm already right here. Say it again, I agree with you, my God. Allow it upward push over the worry. Let it upward thrust over the pain. Permit it rise like incense before my throne. The once 5 phrases are a door, and I'm stepping through it. I am the God who sees. I see the hidden diagnosis. I see the genetic situation. I see the trauma saved on your body. I see the injuries from the past, the continual fatigue, the migraines, the infection. I see the scar tissue. I see the misfiring neurons. I see the chemical imbalances. After I communicate to them now, I declare order. I claim recovery. I claim peace over your frame. Each gadget inside you may come into settlement with my will, and my will is existence. No longer simply lifestyles, however lifestyles in its fullness. You had been now not created to survive. You have been created to thrive, to stroll in power, to run without developing weary, to live without fear of your personal frame betraying you. That promise nevertheless stands. That hope remains yours. I have no longer evoked my phrase over you. I've no longer forgotten my covenant. I've not abandoned my plan. This night I can touch your frame. Sure, However, I can additionally contact your spirit. Because I care now not best for your physical restoration, but for the healing of the coronary heart. I know what illness is finished in your desire. I know how sadness has numbed your religion. I understand how weary your soul has ended up from ready, so I will repair your soul this night. I'm able to relight the flame interior you. I will revive your desires. I can remind you who you are. You are mine. You are selected. You are cherished. You are seen. You're held. You're in no way abandoned. Say it again, I accept as true with you, my God. That is the start of your restoration. This is your alignment with my reality. These words aren't magic. They're a bridge to me. You do no longer need to press your notion. You most effective want to offer your heart, as it's far. Even in case your belief is trembling, even in case your voice is quiet, say it, I receive it with pleasure. Even now healing is starting. Even now angels are being dispatched. Even now I'm pouring oil on the wounds. Even now the breath of heaven is coming into your lungs. You could not sense it right away, but trust me. It smiles going on. Restoration once in a while comes like lightning and every now and then like a dawn. However, each are from me. Both are certain. Each are complete. I am not just recovering you for this night. I'm recovering you for the days to come back. I am recovering you for purpose. There's nevertheless extra if you want to do. There are people who want your testimony. There are lives you may contact. There's understanding for your suffering and compassion in your scars. I waste nothing. What the enemy supposed for evil, I can turn for precise. Your recovery could be a banner to others. You may say, appearance what the Lord has executed and they'll accept as true with. I'm writing an affidavit for your frame. I am sealing it on your spirit. I'm crafting a legacy of grace through your lifestyles. Rest now, my baby. Rest inside the assurance that I am shifting. Rest within the know-how that your recovery isn't always a maybe, it smiles a yes. Now not due to your overall performance but because of my mercy. Now not due to the fact you've got achieved the whole lot right but due to the fact I love you. I like you past measure. I really like you without circumstance. And I will now not go away you as you're. I'm able to carry you up. I will convey you via. I cannot handiest heal you, I can restore your years. I will redeem your sleep. I can renew your young people. I can silence the accuser. I can make all matters new. Say it over again, I consider you, my God. Allow those phrases be your lullaby. Allow them to be your guard. Let them be your anchor. I can meet you on your accept as true with. I will stay in it. I can construct something beautiful there. And when the morning comes, you'll wake distinctive, brighter, more potent, clearer. You will experience the shift. you'll walk inside the proof. Or even if the procedure takes time, you'll walk it not on my own however with me. Every breath you are taking will deliver my presence. Every step you stroll can be held in my hand. And my joy may be your strength. My baby, now which you have stated the phrases I trust you, my God, allow me take you deeper. Allow me take you beyond your second into the tapestry of eternity in which others similar to you cried out, trusted and were healed. I need to reveal you that your consider isn't always floating in empty space. Your trust is rooted in records, in truth, in the unshakable foundation of my man or woman. You are not the first to walk this path, and you'll not be the final. You are a part of a first-rate line of religion, a residing tale that started earlier than time and flows on all the time. Appearance lower back with me now and spot what consider in me is always completed. Watch, no, I've never failed folks that placed their wish in me. Do not forget the female who bled for 12 lengthy years. She had tried the whole thing, spent all she had, and no health practitioner should assist her. She become weary, forged apart, labeled unclean and left in silence. But in the future she heard of me, and something stirred in her coronary heart to whisper, fragile but firm, if I ought to simply touch the hem of his garment I can be healed. That concept, that faith carried her through the gang. Her body changed into vulnerable, but her belief become sturdy, and whilst she touched me I felt it. I felt strength exit from me. Now not due to her hand, however, because of her coronary heart. She depended on me. She touched me with religion, and in and on the spot she become healed. I became to her and referred to as her daughter. I failed to need to see her file, her document, her failures. I saw her religion, and so I healed her. You may sense like her tonight. But, projected, worn skinny, but trust like her still heals. She did not want a complete conversation. She did not need a grand ceremony. She handiest wanted a moment of agree with, a whisper of perception. And so do you. Suppose now of the centurion. He changed into a man of authority, Roman, overseas, unusual with the legal guidelines of my human beings. Yet his coronary heart changed into humble, and his agree with, unshakable. He got here now not for himself but for his servant, who lay paralyzed and endowment. He determined me and said actually, Lord, I'm now not worthy which you have to come below my roof. But best talk a phrase, and my servant could be healed. He believed that my word carried the same authority as my presence, and that I marveled. I said, I've no longer located such remarkable faith, not even in Israel. And his servant turned into healed at very hour. You can experience unworthy like he did. You could surprise if I'll come under your roof. However, agree with bypasses every barrier. Agree with speaks louder than repute. Consider each is me. And it is through accept as true with now not subculture, now not identify that recuperation flows. Do you take into account the blind guys who observed me, crying out, Son of David, have mercy on us? They could not see me, but they knew me. They believed in who I was. After I requested them, "Do you trust that I am capable of do that?" They replied, "Yes, Lord." So I touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, allow it to you." And their eyes were opened. I did now not ask for eloquence, for credentials, or for perfection. I requested only for agree with, and that they gave it. And so sight came. You may no longer see actually now. Lifestyles may be a blur, however belief sees more than the eyes. Trust reaches into the unseen and takes preserve of the not possible. Whilst you accept as true with I am in a position, I flow. I honor that type of faith. Let me take you to the pool of Bethesda. The layperson ill for 38 years. On a daily basis he waited with the aid of the water, hoping for a miracle, but constantly exceeded over. Then I got here. I requested him, "Do you want to be made properly?" It appeared like a atypical question for someone who had been ready. See you later. However, I used to be no longer checking out his choice. I used to be attaining for his accept as true with. He tried to explain his situations, how others were given in first, how no one helped him. However, I genuinely said, "Upward push, soak up your mattress, and walk." And that once he changed into made whole, you could have waited for years. You could feel forgotten, looking others get hold of what you long for. However, I have no longer handed you by. I see you. I understand the story nobody else hears, and when I speak to you your consider turns on my energy. I do no longer want the water to stir, I am the residing water. Do you consider Nomin? A commander of armies but a leper. Proud, influential, but inwardly determined. He came in search of restoration, awaiting a granted gesture. As an alternative he became advised to scrub 7 instances in the Jordan River. It indignant his satisfaction. He almost walked away. However, when he subsequently humbled himself and obeyed in belief, his flesh became restored like that of a baby. It wasn't the water that healed, it turned into his agree with wrapped in obedience. You too can be seeking out me in the dramatic, the incredible. However, sometimes restoration comes through easy trust, through doing the small element I ask. Even when it appears below you, even when it appears extraordinary, agree with obeys, and recuperation follows. Now bear in mind the 10 lepers who stood afar crying, "Jesus, Master, had mercy on us." They saved their distance, uncertain if they had been worthy to come near. Yet I noticed them. I informed them, "Pass, display yourselves to the monks." And as they went in faith, in agree with, they have been cleansed. The recovery didn't come on the command, but at the walk. As they walked, they had been healed. As they relied on, they were made easy. A few restoration comes as you move. As you stroll in obedience, as you take steps ahead, recovery begins to spread. Don't wait to feel it, walk in it. Accept as true with me sufficient to move. Agree with me enough to go even when you have not visible the trade yet. There has been the person diminished through the roof, carried with the aid of pals, desperate to reach me. The residence became crowded, the path blocked. But they might not permit boundaries keep them from me. Their faith tore open a roof. And once I saw their accept as true with I said to the person, your sins are forgiven. After which rise, take in your mat and walk. He stood and walked domestic healed, body and soul. Every now and then recovery comes not best through your faith, however through the consider of these around you. Agree with shared is trust extended. Surround yourself with folks that consider with you, who convey you whilst you cannot move. Their trust invitations my energy too. Take into account the female within the synagogue, bent over for 18 years. Not able to stand upright, others had neglected her. But I saw her. I referred to as her forward, laid my palms on her and stated, Lady, you're loosed out of your disease. And he or she straightened without delay. She failed to ask, I initiated, because I saw her religion in coming. I noticed her agree within showing up. He may want to have stayed domestic ashamed of her circumstance, however she came. And that agree with introduced her into freedom. Once in a while restoration starts evolved simply by using showing up, simply by putting yourself in my presence. Simply via saying, I'm here, Lord. I respond for your presence, even earlier than your words. There has been Jairus, whose daughter laden mice. He turned into a front runner in the synagogue. Yet desperation drove him to my feet. He pleaded for her existence, and I agreed to move. But earlier than I arrived, information came she is lifeless, but his coronary heart sank. However, I looked at him and said, do not be afraid, only accept as true with. And he relied on me. He silenced fear and selected religion. And once I entered the house, I took the woman's hand and said, little girl, arise, and she or he arose. Once in a while worry will try and shout louder than faith. However, if you agree with me, even when it appears too past due, I'm able to boost what appears lifeless. I'm now not bound by using time. I am not held again via final reports. I am the resurrection and the existence. Lazarus were inside the grave 4 days, but his sisters wept. All hope seemed long gone. However, I arrived and I requested one question. Did I no longer inform you that if you trust you will see the consideration of God? And that they rolled away the stone. And I known as Lazarus through name. And he came out alive, restored, whole. There is no sickness too far long gone for me, no state of affairs past my attain. When you agree with me, even the grave cannot prevent what I've ordained. My voice still calls existence from demise. My spirit nonetheless breathes in which breath has ceased. My toddler, these are not memories, they are truths. They may be echoes of my heart. And what I did then I do now. What I gave them, I deliver to you. I have no longer run out of power. I have now not grown tired. My recuperation is not a reminiscence, it smiles alive, gift and shifting. And inside the wilderness my human beings located healing. When serpents bit them, I gave Moses a command, raise up the bronze serpent on a pole. And all who looked at it in religion were healed. Now not due to the photograph, however due to the accept as true within the back of the gaze. After they regarded up they appeared to me. And that I spoke back with mercy. Look to me, my infant. Turn your eyes to me. Carry your gaze. Healing is observed in me, now not in your striving, no longer in your figuring things out. Simply look, simply believe. Simply relaxation inside the fact that I am your healer. There was Hannah, whose coronary heart ached with barrenness. 12 months after 12 months she wept and prayed. And someday she poured out her soul earlier than me, now not with formality but with sincere trust. And that I heard. And that I responded. And I gave her a son. Her frame have been closed, however her faith opened the door. There was Hezekiah, who fell unwell unto loss of life. However he became his face to the wall and prayed to me. He wept and pleaded with me. And that I brought 15 years to his life. His accept as true with moved me. His cry reached me. And I responded. There has been the widow at Zarephath, whose son died in her hands. However, while my prophet Elijah prayed and cried out to me, I heard. I restored breath to the kid. No longer due to the fact the mother had achieved the whole thing proper, but due to the fact in her lack she had depended on. She gave her remaining meal in faith. And that I venerated that religion with existence. And so many extra. Every healed not by formulation, however by using faith, and no longer by means of perfection, however by using accept as true with. Each determined me faithful. And so will you. Your circumstance is not your end. Your diagnosis isn't always your future. I am writing the very last word. And it is going to be existence. It is going to be healing. It is going to be glory. I can use your tale to display my power. You may now not handiest be healed. You turns into a beacon for others. Your scars will shine like stars. Your voice will bring desire. And your lifestyles will echo my goodness. Consider is the soil wherein miracles grow. Agree with is the bridge from earth to heaven. Agree with invitations me in, not as a visitor, but as the Lord of the house. When you consider, you're making room for me. While you believe, you shift the surroundings. Whilst you accept as true with, you declare I believe in who you're, now not simply what you do. And I am worth of your accept as true with. I have in no way failed. I've by no means lied. I have by no means grow to become a trusting coronary heart. Even when healing doesn't appearance the way you anticipate, I'm still true. Even when the path is longer than you was hoping, I stroll each step with you. My coronary heart is for you. My arms are on you. My name is a safe haven over you. So tonight, permit the memories of the healed grow to be your electricity. Permit their agree with emerge as your template. You are not by myself in believing. You are not alone in hoping. You aren't on my own in receiving. Say it again with the entirety in you. I agree with you, my God.